A child in handcuffs. That's what passengers see as police officers escort a 13-year-old black girl off Flight 447. Her shoulders shake with sobs, tears streaming down her face, small wrists bound in cold metal. She's done nothing wrong. She's committed no crime, her only offense existing while black at 30,000 FT. And there she is, the flight attendant, standing in the background with her arms crossed, that smug smile plastered across her face. She thinks she's one. She thinks this black child will just disappear into the system. Another statistic. Another life ruined by racism in uniform. But wait. She thought she could get away with racial discrimination. She had no idea who she was dealing with. Let me tell you exactly how this story of prejudice and justice unfolds. Welcome back to Stories of Justice. If you're new here, you've just joined a community dedicated to truth, accountability, and survival. Show some love by hitting that subscribe button. Before we dive deeper into this story, drop a comment. Where are you watching from? And what time is it for you right now? This is Maya Thompson. She's 13 years old, honor roll student, straight A's, debate team captain at her middle school. And today is the biggest day of her life. But she has no idea that she's about to become another statistic. Another black child targeted by systemic racism. It's 6 o'clock in the morning in their small apartment in Chicago. The place is modest, cramped even, but it's clean and filled with love. Maya is in her bedroom meticulously packing her debate materials into her worn backpack. She's going through her note cards one more time, lips moving silently as she practices her opening statement. Her mother, Angela Thompson, walks past Maya's room. She's already in her nurse scrubs, and God, she looks exhausted. Dark circles under her eyes like bruises, shoulders sagging under the weight of another double shift. Maya looks up from her notes. Her heart sinks a little. "Mom, you look tired. Are you working again tonight?" Angela forces a smile, but it doesn't quite reach her eyes. "Baby, someone's got to pay for that laptop, those debate camps, your future." Maya glances at her desk where that laptop sits. A brand new MacBook Pro, $3,000. Her mother had worked 6 months of double shifts to save up for it. 6 months of coming home at midnight, too exhausted to eat, falling asleep in her scrubs. This is what sacrifice looks like in black families. Working twice as hard, getting half as much, doing everything right, and still being viewed as suspicious. On the shelf above Maya's bed, there's a framed photo. A family photo from when Maya was maybe 5 or 6. But the strange thing, her father's face is turned down, pressed against the wood. Maya's finger hovers over the frame. Angela notices. Her expression softens, but there's pain there too, raw and real. Your father. He has his reasons for not being around, Angela says quietly. Bitterness creeps into Maya's voice, sharp and cutting. He's probably too busy being important. Angela moves quickly, crossing the room to cup Maya's face in both hands. Her touch is gentle but firm. Don't say that he loves you. Sometimes love looks different than we expect. Maya wants to argue, wants to say that real love shows up, but she bites her tongue. She's learned that lesson young. Bite your tongue. Don't make waves. Another lesson black children learn too early. Angela pulls her daughter close one more time, breathing in the scent of her hair. You're going to that championship, and you're going to show them exactly who you are. You belong everywhere, Maya. Don't let anyone tell you different. Those words, you belong everywhere. Angela has to say them because she knows the world will tell her daughter the opposite. Every single day. An hour later, Maya is on the subway heading to O'Hare Airport, alone, clutching the strap of her backpack like a lifeline. Her laptop inside her dreams inside everything her mother has sacrificed for inside that bag. She's nervous. She's excited. She's a 13-year-old black girl traveling alone, which means she's vulnerable in ways white children never have to think about. She has no idea that her entire world is about to be turned upside down. Maya arrives at O'Hare and moves through check-in with confidence. She's flown before, though not often. The agent scans her boarding pass, smiles, wishes her a good flight. Everything is normal. At the gate, Maya finds a seat near the window and pulls out her laptop. Her debate notes fill the screen, arguments and counter-arguments, statistics, quotes from Supreme Court justices. She's prepared for this competition like her life depends on it. Because in a way, it does. This competition offers a full scholarship to any university of her choice. Any university, Harvard, Stanford, Yale. This is Maya's ticket out, her mother's sacrifice made real. This is the dream that black families chase. Education as the great equalizer, or so they're told. Boarding begins for Flight 447 to Denver. Maya gathers her things, slings her backpack over her shoulder, and joins the line. She's so focused on her notes, still running through her opening statement in her head, that she doesn't notice the woman at the aircraft door. The flight attendant checking boarding passes, but that flight attendant notices her, and she doesn't like what she sees. Her name is Ashley Wilson, 34 years old, blonde hair sprayed into absolute submission, makeup perfect, nails perfectly manicured, uniform pressed and crisp. And the moment Ashley sees this young black girl boarding her plane, her eyes narrow, just a fraction. Her lips press into a thin line. Racial bias kicks in immediately. Maya hasn't said a word, hasn't done anything wrong. But in Ashley's mind, she's already a problem, already suspicious, already someone to watch. This is what racial profiling looks like in real time. This is what implicit bias looks like. This is what prejudice looks like when it wears a uniform and a smile. Ashley leans over to her colleague, another flight attendant named Rebecca, and whispers, her voice dripping with suspicion. Watch 12C closely. Rebecca glances at the boarding pass in Ashley's hand, then at Maya. She's just a kid. Ashley snaps back. Just watch her. No explanation needed. They both know what Ashley means. Watch the black girl. Maya makes her way down the aisle to row 12, completely oblivious. She finds her seat, 12C, middle seat, between an elderly woman with kind eyes and a businessman already absorbed in his newspaper. The elderly woman, Mrs. Garcia, offers a warm smile. Big trip for you, sweetie. Maya returns the smile, polite and shy. Yes, ma'am, debate championship. Oh, how wonderful. You must be very smart. Before Maya can respond, a shadow falls over her. She looks up. Ashley is looming over her, arms crossed. Boarding pass and ID. Maya blinks, confusion flickering across her face. She just showed her boarding pass at the door, and she watched at least a dozen white passengers board without being asked for their IDs. But she complies because that's what black children are taught from birth. Comply. Don't make waves, don't give them a reason. Keep your hands visible, say yes ma'am and no sir. Do everything right and maybe, just maybe, you'll make it home safe. She digs into her backpack and pulls out her school ID, hands it over along with her boarding pass. Ashley examines both documents slowly, deliberately, taking her time, making Maya squirm in her seat. This is a power play. This is discrimination disguised as procedure. This is what it means to be black in America, constantly having to prove you have a right to exist in spaces. Her voice comes out sharp like a knife. Where are your parents? The implication is clear. What kind of parents let their child fly alone? The kind of judgment that white children traveling alone never face. Maya shrinks slightly under the weight of that tone. My mom's at work. I'm traveling alone. Ashley's face twists into a disapproving scowl that speaks volumes. She doesn't say anything else, just hands the documents back and walks away. But Maya can feel it. The judgment, the suspicion, the assumption that there's something wrong with her family, with her very existence in this space, hanging in the air like smoke, suffocating. Mrs. Garcia pats her hand gently. Don't worry, dear. But Maya should worry because this is just the beginning. The plane begins to taxi toward the runway. Maya tries to shake off the uncomfortable encounter. She pulls out her laptop. She needs to review her notes one more time. The competition is this afternoon. She needs every minute of preparation. She's barely opened the screen when Ashley swoops in like a hawk diving for prey. Put that away immediately. Maya startles, nearly dropping the laptop. But the captain hasn't turned on the seatbelt sign yet. Ashley leans down, getting right in Maya's face, her voice sharp and intimidating, aggressive in a way she would never be with a white passenger. I don't care what the captain hasn't done. Close it now. Maya's face burns with embarrassment as she quickly closes the laptop. Every passenger in the surrounding rows is staring now, whispering, some shaking their heads. She's been singled out, humiliated publicly, made an example of. Mrs. Garcia whispers kindly, patting Maya's hand again. Don't worry, dear. Some people just have bad days. But this isn't a bad day. This is racism. This is what discrimination looks like at 30,000 FT. Ashley catches the exchange and shoots Mrs. Garcia a withering look that could freeze fire. The message is clear. Don't interfere. The plane takes off. Maya sits rigid in her seat, hands folded in her lap, staring at the seat back in front of her. She can feel the tears threatening, burning behind her eyes, but she won't let them fall. Not here, not in front of everyone. Black girls are taught to be strong, to swallow their pain, to not give people the satisfaction of seeing them break. 30 minutes pass. The plane reaches cruising altitude. The seatbelt sign dings off. Maya glances around cautiously. Other passengers are pulling out laptops, tablets, phones. The businessman next to her is already typing away on his computer. The white woman across the aisle is on her iPad. Nobody is telling them to put their devices away. Carefully, cautiously, Maya reaches into her bag and pulls out her laptop again. She's barely opened it when Ashley appears. Instantly, like she was watching, waiting, targeting, arms crossed, eyes cold. I thought I told you to keep that closed. Maya's voice comes out small, trembling. We're at cruising altitude now. I need to study. Ashley's eyes gleam with something dark, suspicion, accusation. The kind of prejudice that assumes a black child with nice things must have gotten them illegally. The kind of racism that says black people don't deserve nice things, can't afford nice things, must have stolen nice things. That's an expensive computer for someone your age. Where did you get it? There it is. The accusation wrapped in a question. Maya's defensive instincts kick in. She hugs the laptop closer to her chest. It was a gift for making honor roll. Ashley sneers. Actually sneers. The mask is slipping now, the professional veneer cracking to reveal the ugly prejudice beneath. From whom? My parents. Your parents who aren't here. Ashley's voice is mocking now, dripping with racial stereotypes, with assumptions about black families, black parents, black worth. Maya freezes. Blood drains from her face. How does Ashley know that? And then she remembers the gate. She'd been on the phone with her mom. Had Ashley been listening, collecting ammunition, building her case against this child? Ashley leans in closer, her voice dripping with insinuation, the unspoken accusation hanging in the air like poison. I heard you at the gate. So how does a nurse afford a $3,000 laptop? She's implying theft. She's stereotyping. She's doing what racists do, assuming the worst about a black child simply because of her skin color, assuming that black people can't have nice things legitimately, assuming that poverty and criminality are inherent to blackness. The implication hangs heavy in the air, poisoning it, suffocating. Every passenger within earshot can hear it. The racist subtext made text. She's suggesting Maya stole it. Mrs. Garcia can't stay quiet anymore. This is wrong. This is discrimination, plain as day. Excuse me? This is inappropriate. Ashley whips around, voice cold and dismissive. The white flight attendant silencing the Latino woman who dares to defend the black child, shutting down any solidarity, any resistance. "Ma'am, mind your business or I'll have to ask you to deplane at our next stop." Mrs. Garcia falls silent, but her jaw is clenched tight. She's angry. She knows what she's witnessing, but she's also scared. Scared of being kicked off, scared of being labeled a troublemaker. This is how systemic racism works. It silences allies through fear. Under the armrest, she squeezes Maya's hand. A small act of resistance, a small act of solidarity across racial lines. It's not enough, but it's something. Maya closes her laptop with shaking hands. Tears are threatening to spill now, hot and shameful. She's being publicly humiliated, racially targeted, accused of theft in front of a plane full of strangers, and there's nothing she can do about it. Because if she stands up for herself, if she raises her voice, she'll be labeled aggressive, angry, threatening. This is the impossible position black people are put in every single day. The businessman 2 rows up, Mr. Henderson, has been watching the whole exchange. He shakes his head in disgust and mutters something about lawsuits, but he doesn't intervene. Not yet. He sees the injustice, but like so many, he's a bystander, watching, uncomfortable but not acting. Maya sits there, laptop clutched to her chest, trying so hard not to cry, trying so hard to remember her mother's words. You belong everywhere. But right now, at this moment, she doesn't feel like she belongs anywhere at all. She feels like what Ashley is treating her as, an intruder, a suspect, a problem to be dealt with. This is what racism does. It makes you question your own worth, your own right to exist in spaces. If you're feeling angry right now, good. You should be. Hit that subscribe button because Maya's story is about to get worse before it gets better. But trust me, justice is coming. Drop a comment below. Have you ever witnessed discrimination like this? What did you do? What would you have done if you were sitting near Maya and saw this racial profiling happening? 40 minutes into the flight, Maya is squirming in her seat, pressing her legs together. She needs to use the bathroom desperately. But after everything that's happened, she's scared to ask, scared to draw more attention, scared of giving Ashley another reason to target her. But biology doesn't care about fear. She looks up as Ashley passes by with the beverage cart. "Excuse me," Maya says quietly, voice small and apologetic. "May I use the restroom?" Ashley barely glances at her. Bathrooms are occupied, but Maya can clearly see the bathroom at the front of the cabin. The sign is glowing green. Vacant right there, unmistakable. Maya's voice shakes slightly. She's trying to be respectful, trying not to make trouble. But that one shows. Ashley whips around, eyes flashing with anger, offense at being questioned. "Are you questioning me?" The threat in those words is clear. Question me and see what happens. Maya shrinks back into her seat, body language making herself as small as possible. "No, ma'am. I just really need Ashley towers over her, using every inch of her height advantage, using her position of authority, using her whiteness as a weapon. Return to your seat. You can wait. This is cruelty. This is punishment. This is what happens when you question authority while black." Maya sits back down, humiliated beyond words. Her face is hot with shame. Her eyes are stinging with unshed tears. She fidgets uncomfortably, pressing her legs together. She can feel every passenger in the surrounding rows watching her, pitying her. But none of them are helping. This is the loneliness of being black in racist spaces. You're on display. You're vulnerable, and you're alone. Mr. Henderson has had enough. His privilege allows him to speak up in ways that Maya cannot. This is ridiculous. "Let the kid use the bathroom." Ashley's voice turns to ice. She doesn't tolerate being challenged. But she has to maintain some professionalism with him. He's a white man. He gets that courtesy. "Sir, sit down, or you'll be reported for interfering with crew duties." Mr. Henderson reluctantly sits, but he's muttering about lawsuits, about calling his attorney, about contacting the airline. He's angry. He sees the injustice, But his anger doesn't translate to action. Not yet. Mrs. Garcia has her phone out now, discreetly angled. She's recording every word, every interaction. She knows the truth needs to be documented because without evidence, Maya's word against Ashley's means nothing. A 13-year-old black girl against a white authority figure. The system isn't built to believe the child. 10 agonizing minutes pass. Maya's eyes are welling with tears of embarrassment. This is torture, deliberate, cruel torture. This is what dehumanization looks like, being denied basic dignity, basic bodily autonomy. Finally, Ashley waves her hand dismissively. Fine, make it quick. Maya practically runs to the bathroom, cheeks burning with shame. She's been made to beg for permission to use the restroom. She's been humiliated in front of everyone. This is what racial discrimination feels like in the body. Shame, fear, and the crushing weight of powerlessness. When she returns to her seat, she can barely look at anyone. She stares at her hands folded in her lap and tries to disappear into herself. Tries to make herself invisible. Another survival skill black people learn. How to make yourself small enough to be ignored. How to avoid being a target. But she's already a target. And Ashley isn't done. The beverage service continues. Ashley is pushing the cart down the aisle, all smiles for the other passengers. Orange juice, coffee, water. Her voice is sweet, professional, a stark contrast to how she speaks to Maya. She reaches Maya's row. Maya's voice is barely audible, nervous, avoiding eye contact, trying so hard not to provoke. Just water, please. Ashley's smile is forced, tight, not reaching her eyes. She pours the water into a plastic cup, fills it almost to the brim, and then as she extends the cup toward Maya, Ashley deliberately tilts it. The water cascades across Maya's laptop bag sitting on her lap. "No!" Maya gasps, jumping up. "My notes, my laptop." Her hands are shaking as she frantically unzips the bag to check for damage. Water is seeping through. She can see it darkening the fabric. Her debate notes, months of work, her mother's sacrifice, her future. Everything. Panic floods her system. This is sabotage. This is deliberate destruction of property. This is racism manifesting as violence. Ashley's voice cuts through the cabin, loud and dramatic, theatrical. "Sit down, immediately." Maya is panicked now, tears streaming down her face. She's not threatening anyone. She's protecting her belongings, but Ashley is creating a narrative. "You just poured water on my." Ashley recoils, clutching her chest like she's been struck, like she's the victim. This is the playbook. When called out, claim victimhood. "Are you threatening me?" The entire cabin goes silent. Every single passenger turns to stare. You could hear a pin drop. The air is thick with tension and the awareness that something very wrong is happening. Maya's mouth drops open in shock. Her voice cracks. "What?" "I didn't." Ashley's voice rises, theatrical, her hands still pressed to her chest. She's performing now, playing the frightened white woman threatened by the aggressive black child. A tale as old as racism itself. This passenger just threatened a crew member. "I didn't threaten anyone." Maya is crying now. Voice breaking, shoulders shaking. Her whole body is trembling. "You spilled water on my bag. The truth doesn't matter when the liar has institutional power." Mr. Henderson is on his feet again, pointing at Ashley, his white male authority giving weight to what Maya cannot say. "I saw what happened. You spilled that on purpose. Everyone here saw it." Other passengers are nodding, murmuring agreement. "That's not what happened. She didn't threaten anyone. This is wrong." But Ashley clutches her radio, her hand trembling, though it looks more performative than genuine. She's doubling down, escalating. "I need backup up here. Passenger in 12C is aggressive and threatening." Another flight attendant, Rebecca, appears from the back galley. Her face is creased with concern. Even she can see something is off. "Ashley, what happened?" Ashley is breathing heavily now, really selling the performance, the damsel in distress. the innocent white woman endangered by the angry black child. She became verbally abusive when I asked her to comply with safety regulations. Rebecca looks at Maya, really looks at her, a terrified 13-year-old girl, sobbing, shoulders shaking, surrounded by angry passengers who are clearly on her side. The evidence doesn't match Ashley's narrative. Rebecca's voice is quiet, uncertain. She knows this is wrong. Maybe we should just Ashley snaps. Handle your section. I've got this. Rebecca backs away, but the doubt is written all over her face. She's complicit now through silence, through inaction. This is how systemic racism perpetuates. Good people who see wrong but don't intervene. Suddenly, the captain's voice crackles through the speakers. Folks, we're going to be making an unscheduled landing in Phoenix. Should only add about 90 minutes to our flight time. We apologize for the inconvenience. Passengers groan, they slam their armrests, they check their phones, their watches, 90 minutes, missed connections, delayed meetings, inconvenienced lives. But for Maya, her entire world just crumbled. No, 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 no. Her hands are trembling so hard she can barely unlock her phone. She pulls up her email. The registration confirmation. National Debate Championship. Registration closes at 6 p.m. sharp. Current time 2:47 p.m. With this diversion, with 90 extra minutes, she'll never make it. Her future is being stolen. Her mother's sacrifice is being erased. All because of one racist flight attendant who couldn't stand seeing a black child with dignity. She'll miss registration. She'll miss her chance. All that work, all her mother's sacrifice, the double shifts, the exhaustion, the $3,000 laptop earned through blood and sweat, all of it gone, destroyed by racism. Maya is sobbing now, hiccuping, gasping for air. My competition? I worked so hard. Mrs. Garcia wraps her arm around Maya's shoulders, rubbing her back soothingly. Sweetheart, what competition? Maya can barely speak through her sobs, gasping between words. National debate finals, full scholarship opportunity. If I don't register by 6, she can't finish. She physically cannot get the words out. The injustice has stolen her voice. This is what racism does. It kills dreams. It destroys futures. It takes everything from those who already have so little. Mr. Henderson's face is red now, fists clenched at his sides. He's furious. You're destroying this kid's future over nothing. Other passengers are joining in now, voices rising in anger, a chorus of outrage. Finally, people are speaking up. This is insane. She's 13 years old. Someone call the news. I'm posting this everywhere. This is racial profiling. This is discrimination. The words are being said out loud now. The truth is being named, but it's too late for Maya. And that's when he appears. Marcus, the senior flight attendant. He's in his 50s, black salt and pepper beard, an air of quiet authority that immediately commands attention. He emerges from the forward cabin and surveys the scene. His eyes narrow as he takes it all in. He understands immediately what's happening here because he's seen it before, because he's lived it, because he's black in America. One small crying black teenager surrounded by a dozen angry adult passengers, all of them defending her, all of them seeing what he sees. Injustice. His voice is calm but firm, controlled. Ashley. Gallery. Now Ashley's voice is smug. She thinks she's won. She thinks Marcus will side with her. Crew protects crew, right? The captain's already been informed. Marcus doesn't budge, doesn't blink. His authority is quiet, but absolute. Galley now. The two of them disappear behind the curtain. In the galley, Marcus closes the curtain firmly behind them, shutting out prying eyes. What actually happened? His arms are crossed. He's giving her a chance to tell the truth, a chance she won't take. Ashley goes on the defensive immediately. The lies come easy. They always do. Disruptive passenger refused multiple instructions, threatened me. Marcus shakes his head slowly. He's heard these stories before. From Ashley, from others like her. I've been flying for 28 years. That's a child out there crying while a dozen passengers defend her. Want to try again? Ashley stiffens, her voice sharp. How dare he question her? I don't appreciate your tone. Marcus leans in slightly. The patience in his voice is running thin, and I don't appreciate watching what I just watched. But the plane's already diverted, so now we deal with it. He walks away from her back through the curtain, approaches Maya's row. Marcus kneels down to get to eye level with her. His presence is gentle, fatherly. This black man seeing this black child and knowing exactly what she's experiencing. Hi, sweetheart. I'm Marcus. Can you tell me what happened? Maya is still hiccuping through her tears, wiping her nose with the back of her hand. Her voice is small, broken. I just wanted to study. She kept asking about my laptop, wouldn't let me use the bathroom, then spilled water on my bag. When I got upset, she said I threatened her. I promise I didn't threaten anyone. The truth, plain and simple. The truth that should be believed but so often isn't. Mrs. Garcia speaks up, her voice firm and certain, bearing witness. I've been sitting next to her the entire flight. That girl hasn't raised her voice once until just now. What that flight attendant did was wrong. It was racial profiling. She said it. The words that make white people uncomfortable. Racial profiling. Mr. Henderson chimes in from 2 rows up, his privilege being used finally for good. This is racial profiling, plain and simple, and I'll testify to that in court if I have to. I'm an attorney, and this is discrimination. Other passengers are nodding, murmuring agreement. I saw everything. That flight attendant targeted this child from the moment she sat down. Marcus looks around at all the passengers. Witness after witness, all of them seeing what happened, all of them willing to speak truth to power. He pulls out his phone, his eyebrows raising slightly. Steps away into the galley, he makes a quick call, speaking in hushed tones that no one else can hear, but his expression is serious, determined. The plane begins its descent. The engines whine as they lose altitude. Through the window, Maya can see the ground getting closer. Phoenix, not Denver, not her competition, not her future, not her dreams, just Phoenix. And police cars. Police cars on the tarmac, their lights flashing red and blue. Ominous and terrifying. The visual representation of what happens when black people exist while black, the state violence that enforces racial hierarchy. Maya's breathing becomes rapid, shallow. She's hyperventilating now, clutching her chest. I can't breathe. I can't. Those words, I can't breathe, words that have become a rallying cry, words that represent the suffocation of racism, the weight of oppression, the literal inability to draw breath under the boot of systemic violence. Mrs. Garcia's voice is soothing, steady. Breathe with me, baby. In and out, in and out. You're going to be okay. But will she? Will she really be okay? Black children who encounter police don't always make it home. This is the terror that runs through every black body when those lights appear. This is the fear that white children never have to know. Mr. Henderson pulls out his phone and starts filming. Documentation, evidence, protection. Someone needs to document this. This is a disgrace. The plane touches down with a slight bump. The engines roar in reverse. The aircraft taxis slowly toward the gate, toward those flashing lights, toward whatever comes next. If you're not subscribed, do it now because what happens next will restore your faith that justice is possible. Comment below. How does this make you feel? Have you ever witnessed racial profiling? Did you speak up? Why or why not? The plane comes to a complete stop. There's a hiss as the doors unlock. The sound of Maya's freedom ending, and then they board. 2 police officers, one Latino woman in her 30s, Officer Rodriguez with kind eyes and a gentle demeanor. The other, Officer Johnson, white in his 40s, more stoic and harder to read. Ashley rushes forward immediately, her hands wringing together dramatically, playing the victim to the end. Officers thank God. The passenger in 12C has been disruptive, threatening, refused crew instructions throughout the flight. The lie told to people with guns and the power to destroy lives. Officer Rodriguez's voice is measured. Professional. Which passenger? Ashley points. Her finger jabs accusingly toward row 12. pointing at a child, weaponizing police against a black child. This is how white supremacy works. Both officers look. They see a tiny 13-year-old girl, tears streaming down her face, body shaking like a leaf in a storm, school uniform, backpack. Officer Johnson blinks. Even he can see this doesn't add up. That's a child. Ashley's voice is indignant now. Defensive, doubling down. Age is irrelevant. She violated federal aviation regulations. Regulations, rules, laws, the language of oppression, the tools used to criminalize blackness. Officer Rodriguez approaches slowly, gently. She crouches down to Maya's level, her instinct telling her something is very wrong here. "Hi, honey. I'm Officer Rodriguez. What's your name?" Maya's voice is barely audible. Hoarse from crying. Traumatized. "Maya Thompson." Officer Rodriguez offers a soft smile, trying to be kind, trying to be human. "Maya, we need you to come with us to sort this out, okay? Sort this out as if this is something that can be sorted, as if this trauma can be undone." Maya stands on trembling legs. Her knees are wobbling. She looks like she might collapse at any moment. She looks like what she is, a child who has been terrorized. Mr. Henderson stands up, pulling a business card from his wallet, using his power finally, meaningfully. "I'm an attorney. This is unlawful detention. That child did nothing wrong, and I'll testify to it. Multiple passengers are now offering to be witnesses. Their voices overlap, creating a cacophony of support, a wall of defense around this child that should have been there from the beginning. I saw everything. That flight attendant was harassing her. This is discrimination. I recorded the whole thing. She did nothing wrong. This is racial profiling." Mrs. Garcia hands Maya a tissue and squeezes her shoulder. "You're going to be fine, baby. The truth will come out." But will it? Does truth matter in a world built on lies about who deserves dignity? The officers escort Maya off the plane and into the jetway. She's being removed like a criminal. A 13-year-old child escorted by police for the crime of existing while black. This is the reality for black people in America, being punished for existing. In the privacy of the jetway, away from the other passengers, Officer Rodriguez speaks gently. She's trying. She genuinely is. But she's also part of a system. Maya, the flight attendant, says, "You threatened her and were disruptive. Is that true?" Maya's voice is shaking, exhausted, defeated. "No, I was trying to study." She kept questioning me about my belongings, wouldn't let me use the bathroom, then spilled water on my laptop bag. When I was upset about my notes getting wet, she said I threatened her. I never threatened anyone. The truth. Simple. But in a system designed to doubt black voices, truth isn't always enough. Officer Johnson's voice is more official, procedural, going through the motions. "Why were you traveling alone?" Maya pulls out her phone with shaking hands. Evidence of her purpose, of her innocence. "I'm going to a debate competition in Denver, the national championship." She shows them the registration email, her future displayed on a cracked phone screen. Officer Rodriguez looks at the screen, then at the time displayed. She can do the math. "When does it start?" Maya's voice breaks, the full weight of what she's losing hitting her again. "Registration closes at 6 p.m. If I don't make it, she can't continue." She breaks down completely, sobbing into her hands. This is grief, the death of a dream in real time. Officer Johnson's expression softens slightly. Even he can see the injustice here. "Let me talk to the flight attendant." He heads back onto the plane, back to hear Ashley's lies. Back in the galley, Officer Johnson speaks with Ashley. She's confident now. Chin raised, certain of her version of events, certain that the system will believe her because it always has. She was aggressive from the moment she boarded. Kept insisting on using electronics during taxi, refused to follow safety instructions, and when I corrected her behavior, she became verbally abusive, layer upon layer of lies, but told with the confidence of someone who knows she'll be believed. Officer Johnson narrows his eyes. Something isn't sitting right. What did she say exactly? Ashley nods emphatically. She's committed to the lie now. She told me she'd make me regret this. More lies. Specific lies. The kind that sound true because they're detailed. But details don't make truth. Rebecca, who's been standing quietly in the back of the galley, can't stay silent anymore. Her conscience won't allow it. She steps forward. Her voice is quiet but clear. That's not what happened. Ashley glares at her, eyes flashing with anger and warning. Shut up. Protect the crew. That's the rule. You were in the back cabin. Rebecca's voice grows stronger, finding courage. I heard everything through the intercom. Sir, that's not what happened. That child didn't threaten anyone. Ashley has been targeting her from the moment she boarded. Truth from an unexpected source. An ally speaking up. Finally, Marcus steps forward, pulling out his phone. He's been waiting for this moment, collecting evidence. Doing the work that will make justice possible. Officer, I've been documenting this flight attendant's conduct for 6 months. 3 formal complaints from passengers of color, all mysteriously dismissed by mid-level management as misunderstandings. Pattern history. Evidence of systemic racism within the airline itself. Ashley's voice rises, defensive. She's losing control of the narrative. This is absurd. Marcus has a mysterious smile playing on his lips now. He knows something she doesn't. I've already made a call to someone who needs to know about this. Ashley waves her hand dismissively. She's still confident, still sure of her protection. Who? HR. They always side with crew. Marcus's smirk deepens. There's satisfaction in his voice now. Justice coming. Someone higher than HR. Back in the terminal, the situation is escalating. Justice, or something like it, is beginning to organize itself. The passengers from Flight 447 have refused to reboard. They're standing in the gate area, angry, animated, demanding justice, using their privilege finally for something good. Mr. Henderson is filming on his phone, his voice passionate and clear. This is a disgrace. This airline just destroyed a child's future. Mrs. Garcia is on her phone too, fingers flying across the screen as she types. She's posting the video she recorded on every social media platform she can think of. Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, making it impossible to hide, making it impossible to ignore. Within minutes, literally minutes, justice for Maya is trending. The power of social media, the ability to amplify black voices to make invisible violence visible. A local news crew arrives, cameras rolling. Having been tipped off by one of the passengers. The media. Sometimes an ally, sometimes a weapon. Today, maybe both. Maya's voice is hollow, her eyes empty and distant. My mom's at work. Double shift. She doesn't even know this happened yet. Officer Rodriguez's supervisor arrives. Sergeant Cooper, no relation to Mrs. Garcia. He's stern but fair, decades of experience written in the lines of his face. He's seen this before too many times. He reviews the situation, listening to statements from Officer Rodriguez. Looking at the videos passengers have shown him, the evidence mounting, the truth becoming undeniable. His frown deepens with every new piece of information. This is bad. This is very bad for the airline, for Ashley. Maybe not bad enough for Maya, but bad. He steps away to make several phone calls. His voice is low, professional. But there's an urgency to his movements. Something is happening. Wheels are turning. Maya checks her phone. 4:02 p.m. Even if they released her right this second, even if they put her on the next flight, she'd never make it to Denver in time. The math doesn't work. Her future is gone. She slumps against the wall, defeated, staring at nothing. Her voice is barely a whisper. It doesn't matter anymore. All that work, all her mother's sacrifice, the double shifts, the exhaustion, the belief that education could be the way out, the way up, the way to dignity, everything gone, stolen by racism. Sergeant Cooper returns. His expression is unreadable, his steps measured and deliberate. Something has changed. Maya, he says, Someone's here to see you. Maya looks up, confused, weary. Who could possibly be here? Who? I don't know anyone in Phoenix. The security office door swings open and everything changes. What's about to happen next is going to blow your mind. Make sure you're subscribed because this is where justice walks in. Comment. Who do you think just walked through that door? A tall black man enters the security office. He's wearing an immaculate navy Tom Ford suit, custom tailored, the kind that costs more than most people's monthly rent. His presence is commanding, powerful. He fills the entire room with an energy that demands attention. This is what power looks like when it walks through a door. James Thompson, 52 years old, jaw clenched so tight you can see the muscles working. Barely controlled fury blazing in his eyes like a wildfire. Barely contained. This is black excellence. This is black power. This is what happens when a black man has resources and his child has been harmed. Maya looks up from where she's slumped against the wall. She freezes. Her mouth falls open. Dad! The word comes out as barely more than a whisper, disbelieving. It's been so long. She thought he didn't care. She thought she was alone. James crosses the room in 3 strides and pulls her into a fierce embrace. He's stroking her hair, his large hand gentle despite the rage still simmering beneath his surface. I'm here, baby. I'm here. Maya breaks down completely, sobbing into his chest. All the fear, all the trauma, all the injustice pouring out. Daddy, I didn't do anything wrong. I promise. James's voice is thick with emotion, barely controlled. He's feeling every bit of his daughter's pain, every bit of the racism she just endured. I know, baby girl. I know. Marcus told me everything. He looks up at Sergeant Cooper. His voice turns to steel. Command authority. I need 5 minutes with my daughter. It's not a request. It's a statement. And when a man like James Thompson makes a statement, people listen. Sergeant Cooper nods. Everyone clears the room, exchanging glances as they file out. They can feel it. The shift in power, the change in dynamics. The door closes, leaving father and daughter alone. Maya is still hiccuping, trying to catch her breath. She has so many questions. How did you even know? Did Mom call you? James kneels down, taking both of her hands in his large hands, strong hands, hands that build empires and protect daughters. Marcus called me, the senior flight attendant. We went to college together. Maya's eyebrows furrow in confusion. But why would he call you? James takes a deep breath. His eyes close briefly, gathering himself. This is the moment, the truth. Baby, there's something your mother and I never told you about why I haven't been around as much, about why we kept certain things secret. He pulls out his phone and turns it toward her. The wallpaper on his lock screen fills the display. It's Maya at her last debate tournament. She's on stage mid-argument, one hand raised emphatically. The image is crystal clear, zoomed in on her face, capturing her passion and intelligence, capturing everything he's missed, everything he's watched from afar. James's voice cracks, emotion breaking through. I've watched every video your mother sends me, every competition, every award ceremony, every speech. I see everything. I've never missed a moment, baby girl. Not one. Fresh tears spring to Maya's eyes. Her voice breaks, the pain of abandonment mixing with the confusion of love. Then why didn't you come? Why are you never there? James cups her face in both hands the way her mother had done that morning. The same gesture, the same love, different circumstances. Because I'm the CEO of Skyline Airlines. The words hang in the air. Heavy, significant, world-altering. Maya's eyes widen, her mouth opens. She's processing, but it's not quite landing yet. CEO, this is my company, these are my planes. James's voice drops lower, more intense, the full weight of what's happened hitting him. And that woman out there just terrorized my daughter on my aircraft. That woman just enacted racist violence against my child using my resources. Now it clicks. Maya's jaw actually drops, understanding flooding in. Her father isn't just some businessman. He's not just important. He's not just busy with work. He's the CEO of the airline, the entire airline, one of the largest carriers in the country. He's not just powerful. He's one of the most powerful black men in corporate America. Your mother and I, we kept this from you because we wanted you to have a normal childhood. We didn't want you growing up with the pressure, the scrutiny, the expectations that come with my position. James is still holding her face, his thumbs wiping away her tears. We thought we were protecting you. We thought if people didn't know who you were, you could just be a kid. Just be Maya, not the CEO's daughter. The painful irony isn't lost on him. They tried to protect her from one kind of harm and left her vulnerable to another. But today I realize that trying to protect you from my world might have left you vulnerable in ways we never imagined. Because that woman saw a black child alone and thought she could do whatever she wanted. She didn't see power. She didn't see protection. She saw a target. Maya throws her arms around his neck. Years of questions, years of hurt, years of feeling abandoned, all of it complicated by this truth. I thought you didn't care. I thought you were too busy, too important. Never. His voice is fierce now, absolute. Never, baby girl. I'm sorry I made you feel that way. I'm sorry we made choices that hurt you. But I'm here now, and I promise you, I'm about to make this right. He stands, pulling her up with him. Now, let's go deal with this situation. They exit the security office together. James's hand is protective on Maya's shoulder. The CEO and his daughter, power and purpose aligned. In the main waiting area, Ashley is standing there. She's smugly giving her statement to an airline representative, gesturing animatedly, clearly enjoying being the center of attention. Still riding high on her perceived victory, still confident in her protection. And then she sees him. Recognition dawns on her face like a sunrise, except this sunrise brings no warmth, only cold, creeping dread. Her brain is connecting dots. That's James Thompson. That's the CEO, and he's with, oh God, oh no. The color drains from her face like water circling a drain, blood leaving, panic arriving. Her hands start trembling. Her mouth opens and closes. No sound comes out at first. Her entire body language shifts from confident to terrified in seconds. Finally, she stammers, actually stumbling forward a step. Mr. Thompson, I didn't realize. I had no idea. James's voice is ice cold. He towers over her, and suddenly Ashley seems very small, very exposed, very powerless. No idea about what, Ashley? That the 13-year-old you just terrorized and falsely accused is my daughter? The terminal goes silent. Every passenger who was making noise, every conversation, everything stops. This is the moment. This is justice manifesting. Deafening silence, the kind that precedes thunder. James's voice drops lower, quiet, lethal, more dangerous than shouting. Or did you mean you had no idea that your racist behavior on my aircraft would finally catch up with you? Ashley is stammering now, wringing her hands together. The performance is over. The mask has fallen. Now there's just fear. Sir, I was following protocol. James cuts her off with a raised hand. Stop talking. Marcus has been documenting your conduct for 6 months. 3 formal complaints from passengers of color, all mysteriously dismissed by mid-level management who clearly didn't think it was important enough to bring to my attention. That ends today. That ends right now. Institutional racism exposed. The way complaints get buried. The way patterns get ignored until they can't be anymore. Marcus appears as if on cue. He's nodding, holding his tablet, pulling up files, evidence, documentation. Sir, I have statements from 12 passengers, all supporting Maya's account, plus video evidence from Mrs. Garcia, showing everything, the receipts, the proof, the undeniable truth. James turns back to Ashley. His eyes are blazing now. All pretense of calm gone. This is righteous anger. This is a father's fury. Ashley Wilson, You're terminated, effective immediately. Security will escort you out. You'll receive formal notice of our lawsuit for defamation and emotional distress against you personally. Not just the airline. Personally, the system for once delivering consequences. Ashley's face crumbles. Her voice becomes pleading, desperate. The confidence evaporated. You can't just. James steps closer. His voice drops even lower, more dangerous. The full weight of his power bearing down. I'm the CEO. I'm the one who signs your paychecks. I'm the one who sets policy. And I'm the father of the child you just traumatized. Watch me. And that's when Ashley truly understands. She sinks into a nearby chair, hands covering her face, shoulders shaking, crying now, the smug smile gone, the superiority gone, everything gone. Actions meet consequences. 2 airport security guards approach. "Ma'am, you need to come with us." They escort her away. She's still crying, still trying to protest, but nobody is listening, the same way nobody listened to Maya. But this time it's justice, not injustice. James turns to Sergeant Cooper. "Are we done here?" The sergeant nods respectfully. Even he understands the power dynamics in the room. "The young lady's free to go. We'll need statements for our records, but they can wait. This was clearly a case of false accusation. Clear? Now, when power intervenes, when the CEO's daughter is involved, but what about all the other black children who don't have a CEO father? What about all the other Mayas?" James nods once, then turns to Maya. The hard edge melts away, replaced by warmth. Protection now about that competition. Maya shakes her head. Fresh tears returning. Reality crashing back. "Dad, it's too late." Registration closes at 6, even with a private jet. James checks his watch and grins. It's the first genuine smile Maya has seen on his face since he arrived. Confidence, resources, power used for good. "Trust me, we'll make it. I promise." He pulls out his phone, already dialing as he strides confidently toward the exit. "This is Thompson. I need the company jet ready in 15 minutes. Full crew. File flight plan to Denver Centennial. Priority clearance. That's what power sounds like. That's what it means to have resources. That's privilege. Not white privilege this time, but wealth privilege. Class privilege. The privilege that Maya didn't have until this moment." They walk through the terminal together, his arm around her shoulders, protective and proud. Passengers are still filming, but now they're smiling. Some are even applauding. Mrs. Garcia calls out, tears in her eyes. "You go get them, baby." Mr. Henderson gives Maya a thumbs up. "Knock him dead." Other passengers offering encouragement, support, validation. Too late to prevent the harm, but not too late to witness the redemption. The jet takes off 12 minutes later. Private aviation, no security lines, no boarding process, just power and privilege in motion. They land at Denver Centennial at 5:31 p.m. A car is waiting. They arrive at the convention center at 5:54 p.m. 6 minutes to spare. Wealth bought time. Power bent the universe. Maya runs through the doors, her father right behind her. She finds the registration desk, breathless, slaps down her confirmation email. The registration coordinator looks up, checks the time, raises an eyebrow. "Cutting it close, young lady." Maya just laughs. Actually laughs. The first genuine laugh in hours. Relief, survival, victory. You have no idea. 3 hours later, Maya Thompson is on stage in the final round of the National Debate Championship. The topic is criminal justice reform. It's perfect for her. It's personal now. She's lived it. She's experienced it. She knows what systemic racism looks like. She steps up to the microphone. The lights are bright. The audience is huge, but she's not afraid anymore. She's angry. And she's channeling that anger into power. And there in the third row is her father. He's recording on his phone. Tears streaming down his face, beaming with pride, bearing witness, being present, showing up. Maya begins to speak. Her voice is clear, confident, powerful. She talks about racial profiling. She talks about implicit bias. She talks about how racism operates in everyday spaces. She doesn't mention what happened to her. That's not the assignment. But it's there in every word, in every argument, in every statistic. Her lived experience giving weight to her words. She's brilliant. When she finishes her closing argument, the room erupts in applause. Standing ovation, judges wiping their eyes. This is power. This is what happens when a black girl refuses to be silenced. 20 minutes later, the judges announce the winner. First place and this year's national champion from Chicago Preparatory Academy, Maya Thompson. The trophy is heavy in her hands, engraved, beautiful, earned through blood and tears and trauma and survival. Maya holds it high above her head, and then she points directly at her father in the audience. This is for you. This is for us. This is despite everything. 3 months later, the news breaks. Skyline Airlines has implemented mandatory anti-bias training for all employees, company-wide, no exceptions. James Thompson has also created a new passenger rights advocacy program. Any passenger who feels they've been discriminated against can file a report directly with an independent oversight committee. Each report is investigated thoroughly by a team that reports only to him, by a team that's majority people of color, by a team with real power. He's also initiated a partnership with civil rights organizations to develop protocols for identifying and addressing racial profiling across the industry. It's not enough. It's never enough, but it's something. It's using power for justice. Ashley Wilson's lawsuit is still pending, but her career in aviation is over. No airline will touch her. Her name is synonymous with racism, with discrimination, with the abuse of power. Actions have consequences sometimes. Marcus received a promotion to Vice President of Customer Experience. He now oversees all customer service training programs across the entire airline. He's building the infrastructure of change from the inside. And Maya Thompson, she graduated top of her class, perfect GPA, full scholarship to Harvard Law School. She's currently in her second year specializing in civil rights law. She's going to be an attorney. She's going to fight for justice. But here's the thing she learned that day. The lesson that changed everything. It wasn't about racism. She already knew about that. She'd experienced it before. She'd studied it. She'd understood it intellectually. But that day, she felt it in her bones. She felt the weight of it, the crushing, suffocating weight of being hated for the color of your skin. No, the lesson was about power, about privilege, about access. Her father had been watching every competition from afar, carrying her photo on his phone, wearing his love for her in private because he thought that's what she needed. But protection isn't enough when systemic racism is the threat. You need power. You need resources. You need access. And when she needed him most, when it mattered most, he was there in 3 strides. Because that's what love does. When it has the power to act, it shows up. It fights. It doesn't back down. But Maya also learned something else that day. Something harder. Something more painful. She learned that she only got justice because of who her father was, because he was the CEO. Because he had power and wealth and resources. What about all the other black children who don't have a CEO father? What about all the other Mayas on all the other flights? Who speaks up for them? Who fights for them? Who makes sure they get to their debates on time? That's the question that keeps her up at night. That's the question that drives her work. That's why she's going to be a civil rights attorney, because power isn't about being important. It's not about having money or status or a title. Real power is about using whatever you have, your voice, your resources, your platform, your privilege, to protect those who have none. Her father had power, but he used it for her, for justice, for what was right. He used his privilege to intervene. He used his wealth to bend time. He used his position to demand accountability. And now Maya is learning to use her own power, her voice, her intelligence, her education, her lived experience. She's going to fight for people like her. 13-year-olds who get profiled on airplanes, people who get judged for the color of their skin, people who get told they don't belong. But she's also going to fight for those who don't have CEO fathers, those who don't have access to private jets, those whose stories don't trend on social media, those who suffer in silence. She's going to tell them what her mother told her that morning, what she has to remind herself of every day. You belong everywhere. And she's going to fight to make that true, not just for those with power, but for everyone. Because that's what a Thompson does. That's what justice requires. We fight. We use our privilege. We speak up. We stand up. We don't back down. Even when, especially when the system is designed to silence us. If this story moved you, if it made you angry, if it made you recognize the racism that exists in our everyday spaces, remember this. Silence is complicity. Inaction is endorsement. If you're not actively anti-racist, you're passively supporting racism. The system won't change itself. It requires us, all of us, using whatever power we have to demand better, to create better, to be better. Have you ever had to stand up against injustice? What happened? And how did it change you? Or if you've stayed silent when you should have spoken up, why? What stopped you? And what will you do differently next time? Share your truth in the comments below. Let's build a community of people committed to justice, real justice, not just when it's convenient, not just when it's easy, but always. Because every time we stay silent, we're telling the Ashleys of the world that what they're doing is acceptable. And every time we speak up, we're telling the Mayas of the world that they're not alone, that they do belong everywhere, and that we'll fight to make sure they're treated that way. Justice may come late sometimes, but it always finds its way as long as we're willing to clear the path.